Single minds are not that important anymore. You have to surround yourself with the right network. And as a company as well, you need to surround yourself with the right network of partners.
This is a call also to all the coaches and facilitators. Stop giving stuff for free.
There you go. Stop giving stuff for free. People are going to start paying for the podcast. I'm joking. Welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of this World of Work podcast. As a reminder, it was a live event together with Bilge and Ola. As you can see, we start shaking things up a little bit more as we get into the thick of things. First of all, we pick up the conversation where we left it off regarding resilience and well-being. And then we do talk about these other paradigm shifts of things that we are noticing that are changing, right? It has to do with, is it still the single mind that makes a difference in companies? Rather, is it the collective brain power and even the network outside that companies can start building? And then you heard it, right? Freebie economy is no economy at all. At least that is my fundamental belief as well. And we talk more about their event and some of the learnings they got out from it. We talk about the economics of it. And we talk about plenty of other things. So make sure you tune into this part 2 of the World of Work podcast. Let's tune in. I have someone who actually volunteered to also share some tips, if that's okay, on resilience, and also had a question specifically on going back to the We Went experience, a bit more on the specifics on how you support companies in what you do. So I go to the blue sky. It's you.
Hi everyone. Hi Ola and Bilge.
Hi Sunita.
Just 2-3 tips on, I guess, resilience, as we all said, a big word, right? Very simple things that I found working myself, but also with my clients is, I guess, one is what they call serial monotasking. And I think we've all got very used to multitasking. And nowadays, with the virtual world, just serial monotasking, focus on one task at one time. I think that's been very effective. The other thing, and it's very hard when you're sitting in front of your computer and you kind of MS Teams and Zoom, is to take regular breaks. And I know my daughter, who's like 27, she started her job in COVID time, and I keep telling her, go take breaks. And she says, but I can't because I really need to focus. And then she goes, takes a break for 5 minutes, and she comes back and, she works 10 times better. So for me, it's around managing energy versus time. And I think these are all very basic stuff, right? And then I attended a conference a few days ago, and they said something very interesting. Some guru, I don't remember the name, said something like, there is lots of things in our jobs that we don't like. There's nobody who really loves their job for 100%. I mean, I am my own
Come
boss,
on, Sunita, what are you saying? What?
Except when I can sit out in the sun and do these calls. But what they said was very, and I'm still reflecting on it, so I'm not sure I'll be able to articulate it as well as the guru did, but they said that if every day, and this is about resilience, every day, right? Not every week, not every month. If you can find 20% of the things that you love doing in your job and do those 20% every day, it'll be much better than trying to, worry about, oh my God, I hate my job for the 80%, if that's the case, right? Or even if you love your job. So find 20%. And I think, again, for me, it's the chunk size, small. If you find that, you'll manage your energy better. And because you manage your energy better, you'll go into the stress rhythm. And then you have relaxation, stress, passion, stress, love. And that will kind of take away, and that's resilience. Because otherwise, long-term stress of stuff will lead to burnout. And I think that was quite interesting. That's it.
Thank
now
you.
I'm going to mute and enjoy this.
Enjoy the sun. And back to... I think, Sunita, you also wanted to have a little bit more information regarding on the We Went, yes. And then we can pivot into shake up the workplace. Workplace is not. The workplace is not. Nice Freudian slip. Go ahead on the We Went. More specifically, how is it that you're supporting companies in not only within this particular context of the pandemic, but also the broader picture that we were talking about before?
So our specifics are around learning and development, basically. If we talk clearly, we help HR as well and people, managing people or people strategy. But what we are now doing mainly is everybody can come to the platform and find what they're looking for, right? If you're looking for a facilitator on the X topic, you can search for it. But what we help is now becoming an extended L&D team, because in companies, there's not enough budget to have enough people to support L&D. And one person trying to do everything. So what we are doing with our experts, we have we come together as a team for them. Whenever they need help, let's say they need to find out quickly, what do I need to do in diversity and inclusion? This is a hot topic now. I need to take an action. And the L&D person is herself needs a support, right? Because she's not herself a diversity and inclusion expert. So she needs to find a person. So we basically connect that person with the right expert for the company culture. And they can spend an hour as a start and then see that with the enough information they can continue working together or not. So we connect the right experts immediately, whatever the topic need is, and we become their extended L&D team.
So it's an online. So the way this magic works is it through an algorithm? Is it a human connection? Is it so? Because this, I find this as well. These nodal connection points as being very much the future way of working too, because you would need companies as well, maybe needing, like now today, I would like to hire somebody on digital marketing or social media. Actually work and partner with. So how would that work if I were to partner with you and your platform? How would you help me find that kind of
So what we
skill?
know is that there are a lot of discussions need to happen when you talk about people. You can try to automate it to some certain point. We automate it so you can directly search, and we have an algorithm for that search. But if it comes as an extended L&D team, there will be one-to-one connection. There has to be, because you cannot algorithmize your culture.
Oh, come on!
Yeah.
I call we went a human business and a trust business. There's so much trust in it, and I also want to tell our story. We came with this enthusiasm that we'll put in front of booking.com for skill building and team building, and people will just come and book it. And that doesn't happen because there is a lot of trust that is needed for committing to a facilitator, a coach, and people started reaching out to us. We had a lot of conversations, and that's happening, but we are now really tapping into when a request comes, be it a specific skill. Sometimes it's, can you help us design a learning week, or a themed week, a hackathon, or can you help us refresh our people strategy, because we are on this cultural journey and we want the outside in. It always boils down to conversations, pulling the right experts, not only us, but all the other experts. And I don't know if we called out the number, but we have around 200 at the moment, and it's growing. Of experts that are we call suppliers, providers,
of entrepreneurs. Let's say that say, hey, this is what I can offer, this is what I'm passionate about, and then you get to know them, to meet them, to be able to build that trust factor, and to be able to then recommend or connect, or you do.
Yes, definitely.
I'm one of them, by the way. Whoever wants to raise their hands and be part of that,
please join us. But you need to talk to us first. So what we do is we have an approach for interviewing people. We have like a vetting process. We ask a number of questions. We require certifications if you have them. We honestly love to work with people who have been working with and for corporates as well, to be honest, because that always just brings the business acumen and the understanding of the client. Our clients are organizations. This is a B2B business, and definitely that's our vetting process.
Fantastic.
And what helped, actually, I have to add it, I love that the pandemic provided us with a lot of recorded sessions, and we tell people, can you show us a recorded session you've done, because we want to see how you facilitate it. And that's amazing, so everybody's recording now, and we see people in action, and testimonials are important, of course, proof of previous clients. So those are the things we check.
Wow. And maybe next time, my dear Bilge, we'll have a specific podcast on algorithms. Because a lot of, and this in particular for the WoW 1.0 generation of the season, of the previous season, where we talk about, the complexities of the job market and the complexities of the difficulties, rather, of the job market being able to reflect the actual, not only skills, because that's, you've got your LinkedIn, that's got, it's easy the way it's built, right? And you have your TA systems in companies, and algorithms are nothing more than embedded opinions in a code of whatever it is you can code, and the only things we can actually code are those practical, tangible, type of things. So I think this topic of algorithms is driving so many decisions up front, so that you land in a funnel that you may get lost in that process simply because you have not ticked the box in some of the requirements that have gone into that coded opinion of that algorithm. And I do think a lot of these platforms, of the matching platforms, have that limitation, which is also limiting, I think, the talent inflow and outflow inside of companies. But maybe that's another.
It's a very deep subject, and you're very right. Also, it can be very negative for some people, missing the chance to be even visible when they are, they could. It could be for finding a job or even applying for to become a provider in a company. You're not even seen, right? But also it could be used positively for diversity aspect, because when a computer does the work for you, they don't look at their nationalities. The AI, it doesn't look at for this. So it could be even better to keep the diversity aligned. So there are, yes, negativities and positivities. But for Revent, we wanted to, we could build tools, we discussed a lot, the automation part of it, but we want to also keep it very human, because this is a human business, and it's about AI versus collective brain power. This is how I call it. Okay. So we have this talent network of trainers, facilitators, and business coaches. And we come, we at this moment we're really fighting with the technology. Right. Because you can let others decide with technology what's going to happen, but I think when you deal with human and their development, there needs to be very humanly decision. And that's why collective brain power is super important at the moment. Not just for business, right? For yourself.
Absolutely.
If you want to excel what you're doing, you're not going to do it alone anymore. Single minds are not that important anymore. You have to surround yourself with the right network, and as a company as well, you need to surround yourself with the right network of partners or business partners, consultancies, whatever you
right. You wanted to say something?
I just wanted to add that when you asked the question, I wanted to highlight that there has been so much focus on e-learning, digital upskilling, passive learning, and we were really going against the current with our let's do activating the social skills learning with human beings face to face in the past, now online, but still human to human. And I'm quite proud that we stuck to it, and that we pushed for it. We have partners who are doing e-learning, and we say we can complement and combine, if you don't use the skill within the 2 days after the course, the knowledge is lost as well. Yes. So activating, making it tangible, going into workshops with facilitators is a nice step to activate. And then also having that accountability group in social learning that holds you accountable to deliver or to use your knowledge is something interesting for us. So the human factor again comes back to us very, very nicely.
And I think this pandemic has shown it. I mean, yes. if ever we needed proof that we are made of body, flesh, and emotions that reverberate with others, right? It is this pandemic, because the fact of not being able to reverberate and grow. And I think it's also it's a biological thing. They're called the mirroring neurons, and bodies talk, right, when they're connected, though. So it's not necessarily on virtual, although hopefully you can see my body's my neurons getting all excited about this. But it's that humanness and that sense of human connection. I think it has further been amplified, right, by the crisis. Shall we pivot onto your community that you've built last year?
We have 10 minutes left, so I think we should.
Well, it's at 3:30. But
3:30. Super. Okay, nice.
But also in the meantime, please do send your questions, and I want to share as you will speak to show my fantastic digital. So for those of you who are connected, here are some pictures, and maybe Ole and Bilge, you may want to talk about this event. Humans are also sloppy, so we just had a moment on the microphone. It's okay.
All good.
Yes. Okay. Here are some pictures that you shared with me and that I'm sharing with everyone else. Maybe you want to talk about the event you did last year here in Zurich.
Where do we start?
From the pictures, or
there's so much to say.
How did it come to be? How did and tell us about this fantastic event that it was in the Kunsthaus, right? For those of you who don't know, it's a museum here in Zurich.
You want to talk about how it started, and then I can talk about the day?
Yes, sure. So we went, we had enough experience of what's happening in the companies and how they struggle to change, right? Transformation, change. These are the two words that has been used probably most in the leadership teams. How they're going to tackle X, how they're going to tackle Y, but then there are so many bureaucracies happening within the company. So I myself was an entrepreneur. I would always go and challenge things in Mondelez. My past bosses would know that very well. But I would always look for people within how I can fight X. Let's change this. Let's make this better. So I was kind of the rebellion, but also it was very positively accepted by my peers and my bosses. So, but it's difficult, right? When we saw this with WeWent, there's always a resistance for change, and the idea would shake up the workplace. We are all dreaming a positive future of work. We want to be accepted as fair. Everybody has a dilemma in the office, right? Either about the bonus or the promotion you didn't get, or the rating you got is not satisfactory because you worked your bottom off. So knowing and seeing all of this challenging atmosphere and people being challenged by themselves and not being able to change what's happening to them, not being able to influence within, we came up with the idea, okay, let's help the companies, but from outside. So outside meaning, let's bring together at the same table startups, academia, companies, governments, all these professionals together, and let them talk about future. And we did that because there was not a space for us to join. So we wanted to be part of this kind of ecosystem, and we couldn't find it. Then it was a discussion between me and Ola. Okay, then we do it.
Perfect.
We do it. We're not like a consultancy firm. We're not like a big player out there, but we can bring the right people together, and we did. So this event was the kickoff of our community, basically, and we had 200 people joining. The original date was March, so we had to push it to October because of the COVID. It was one of the first events that actually postponed, knowing what COVID consequences would be. It was a very challenging decision for us because we worked very hard to make it live on March of 9th, and March of 1st of March or 2nd of March we said, okay, it's not happening, guys. But we had a great supporters, and some tickets actually donated. They didn't even ask for back, even though they knew they wouldn't join on the new date. But I think we had a very great event that was not only like a conference, it was an unconference. So it was much about people being interactive and opening their eyes, and Kunsthaus galleries. Yeah, this was the first event that happened actually surrounded by art, this $1 million arts, and people were sitting in the middle and discussing future of work.
Maybe I can ask Sunita's question. She's asking what are the key takeaways, and I want to again go back to our story. Like, there is a lot on future of work. Everybody talks about it, and we were going to different events ourselves because we wanted to connect, we wanted to feed ourselves with the insights. What was really annoying at some point, and what started to be beyond acceptable is you would go to an event when you would be in darkness, in the audience, just muted, looking at somebody in the spotlight. That guru that Sunita talked about. I'm against that. If there is no dialogue, there's not going to be action. And this is where our energy started, going into, let's create a dialogue. And even more, that dialogue needs to end up with an action plan. So we worked really, we had a role for the conference called Impact Lead. That person was really focused on creating an impact outside of the event, activating the learnings. We had a beautiful shaker workbook where people were taking notes. Who are you connecting? Who are you accountable for and with? And what are your actions that you will take in the next 3 months? And here's a Slack community that you can use to further discuss the actions. And Sunita, it's hard to say what is one key takeaway. We had 16 workshops running in parallel. So it was not your typical stage speaker event. We had those. We called them thought provokers. They started the event and they closed the event, but the heart
basically like this in the planarium type
yes,
of
exactly.
situation.
So that's the thought provoker on the stage, and then
sorry, I cut the thought provoker.
No worries.
It was not.
And it's
it was not on purpose.
But you can see the bottom right corner. That's actually a session with smaller group. The groups were up to 20 people in the galleries. So that was really a highlight where people were working with a facilitator and very different people. Here you have Steven Neubauer, who's a CEO of Comparis, talking about trust.
Okay. Yeah.
So a CEO talking about trust and how he builds it in his company. Then we had, we didn't cover that, but we had 4 key future dialogues that we defined. Number 1, culture, learning, workforce, and well-being. So these were the guiding dialogues and pillars for the event.
We have also takeaways in a slide. I don't know if you want to share it, but we can.
It's more. I don't know if I can share now.
I think you can. Let's see. Also, to give space to questions. Please feel free, folks, to jump in. There's a question. Was it for free or was it paid? Sorry, I won't even disclose who asked that question. It's an important question. Yeah, let's talk money here a little bit to some extent. Was it for free? And if yes, how much was the price? Was it for single people or was it for companies? Thanks for the question.
So it was paid event because
it was paid.
Renting Kunsthaus is already quite a budget that we could not afford by ourselves. It was a non-profit event. It had to pay for itself, so price per person, how much was it? $599?
Yes, that was the top price. The
for
full
the individuals
price
or for
the individuals. Yes, but
guys, start saving.
But we started early, right?
But we had a startup ticket, we had a group ticket, and we had a lot of discounts. So don't be stressed that it was the price that everybody paid. And honestly, this event was just breaking even. So you can imagine.
No. And sorry, how many days was it? Was it
1 day?
Full day event.
One full day.
Yes. So 1 full day event at the Kunsthaus with 200 people.
Yeah.
And how many facilitators did you have?
23 in total.
And including the food
and
catering.
Yeah. Breakfast,
we have
lunch, and dinner.
Our volunteers lead here as well on the call, Monica Moldovan, who was the volunteers lead, we had 40 people working with us, and she was
Hey,
leading the
Monica,
whole
good
group.
job, good job.
Amazing job. Thanks, Monica, for your help. And I'm sorry, but I'm a little bit triggered about the reaction to the money, because we are so used to getting so much for free, and somebody is really working with their asses off, you know.
For free.
Yes, for free. And we've been doing that for a long time. So no. And this is a call also to all the coaches and facilitators. Stop giving stuff for free. And value yourself, you know. Sorry, I'm going to shake it up a little bit. But no, it was a lot, but it had to pay for what we delivered. So yeah. We're confident in our
and to
in
bring
our strategy.
to bring
So,
the diversity.
Just to say, this person is saying, I want to protect the innocent. This person is still anonymous, but is saying it was not a critical question.
Sure.
It was just to know the budget. It was so the person who was asking the question is a business person, marketing background. So understand. Thanks for the question. I think really important because it's opening up something that's also very, very close and dear to my heart too, which is the freebie economy. It is killing in many aspects, or it's to the lowest denominator as opposed to elevating conversations that need to be elevated. They don't need to go to the lowest denominator. They need to be elevated to the highest, because that's the only way we can bring about change. So, wow, I'm going to start charging $300 per class. No, I'm joking. But it's really important. It's
If
really
I came
important.
across as angry at the person who asked, no, I'm not angry at that person, but overall, I think it's a very important topic, and it's a struggle for all of us that are trying to be out.
Is.
And big companies are offering a lot of free stuff as well, so there is a huge competition.
So let me ask then the other question this person did not ask, but here is where I'm going to be a little bit tougher. It's the corporate participation. Because in a way, I'm all for subsidizing, by the way. So for those who cannot afford, I'm for a model of economics that has subsidies embedded into it. So you charge corporations to offset some other. May I ask that question, or is that a very personal?
I mean, we had special tickets for startups, NGOs, and students. So they subsidized basically those people. Not 100%, but I think the price ticket was around 100 Swiss francs for those people.
Plus, we had sponsors. And imagine that, you know,
Exactly,
the cost of the event, again, of such a scale is high. So even with sponsors like Microsoft, Unispace, you still need to charge, just to call it out. Once they were sponsoring, they were allowed to bring some of their company members, of course, for free. Or the ticket price was included in that. And I had something else on my mind that I lost now. I know what we had. We had also something called letter to your boss. We hesitate to ask our organizations whether they want to invest in us. And we provided potential shakers to say, go to your boss and ask to be financed to attend this session, the event. And people were using it. So, yeah, that's another recommendation we have. Go and ask if your company is willing to invest in you.
So there you go. Here we're going to be pressing pause once again in part 2. Take the chance, right? Take the chance, ask the company if they are willing to invest in you. And by the way, if they say no, ask why not. You're going to learn a lot of things about yourself and about the company you work for too. So join us in part 3. We'll be taking the questions from the participants and we will be continuing the conversation. Until then, as always, do take good care.